Welcome to episode 11 of Some Kind of Fun. We have interviews with Patti Rhodes, Terry Walsh, clips from the Suicide Commandos, the Shackletons, and Betty Won't. Paul, Claire, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was really good.
I disagree. I was at your Thanksgiving and I didn't care for it.
You hosted the Thanksgiving, so if you didn't like it, you have yourself to blame.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually a great Thanksgiving.
I thought it was a super Thanksgiving.
Mostly thanks to you. Mostly thanks to you.
Well,
I'm feeling
you know,
really left out here. I mean,
Oh, I forgot to invite Paul.
I could have showed up.
Next year, Paul.
Next year.
Okay.
Next year. Christmas.
My Thanksgiving was great. Actually, my Ike's-giving was great.
Yeah.
Ike Riley at First Avenue, my boys, the Shackletons. Thank you, Peter, for celebrating. Warming him up, Terry Walsh, Belfast Cowboys, kicking things off. That's a hell of a night.
Yeah, it really fits into the show.
It does, for some odd reason.
I don't get it. Just kidding, I do. Just kidding.
At our Thanksgiving, we had the drummer for the Silent Treatment and Trailer Trash.
He was there. Can
was there.
confirm.
Yeah.
He was not drumming.
No.
Drum sticking?
Not even drum sticking. I know. It was a little underwhelming. I'm not going to lie.
You know what we found out this year, is that Minnesota does not allow liquor sales on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah, so the drummer for Trailer Trash made an emergency run to Hudson or St. Croix?
St. Croix Falls.
St. Croix Falls.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
What kind of an alcohol emergency did we have?
beer. We had beer.
It was a beer
and cider.
It was a beer emergency. It was a beer emergency. He saved the day. He did
All
not
right.
drum, but he saved the day.
He
Just kidding.
saved
He
the
did.
day.
So Paul really liked Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
What shows have you been enjoying in the past month since we last talked?
I caught a couple of really cool sets. One from the Heavy Sixers at Thankoween that was really fun and awesome. And there was a guitar that was smashed by the end of their set. And then Ghost Kitchen played Barely Brothers on the 4th. And they were so much fun.
And they weren't scary.
They were not scary. Nor did they bring a kitchen.
Was there cooking?
There was not even any cooking.
Wow. Was there rocking?
There was plenty of rocking. Yes.
Well,
How about you, Pete?
I went to both nights of Bob Mold at the Cedar Cultural Center and the Turf Club. I actually think the Cedar Cultural Center is a hidden gem in terms of being a venue around town.
Okay.
So that was a great set. And also, if I were to draft a fantasy Bob Mold set, the what I would pick would be on the first night, and the next out songs were on the second night. So I thought it was a great 2 nights.
I was there at the Turf Club. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, we were there
Very
together.
nice.
We were there. We were right next to each other.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I remember.
I'll also add 2 nights from the suburbs at the Ice House.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
And then,
We went to both, right?
yeah, the Big Hits re-release at the Hopkins with the Commandos, Hipsters, all of those bands, so many of those bands from Paul's youth.
Yeah.
Your Longhorn days.
Yeah, I was kind of the youngster at this show.
Speaking of big hits from Mid-America Volume 3, we have clips.
What?
Yes. We are getting so good at transitions. We've got clips from, cut to those two while I read this, the Hipsters, Fingerprints, Yipes, Curtis A., and the Suicide Commandos.
Woohoo! And when we come back, we'll have a scintillating interview between Claire Luger and Patti Rhodes.
wasted on you. You were on my mind. I was thinking of you. You were wasting mine. Standing on the edge of my life, waiting for my world to cry. Waiting for my world to cry out. Waiting for my world to cry. I was made.
Welcome back. Our first interview tonight is with Patti Rhodes, filmmaker. Hey, Patti. Thanks for joining us. So you've got some really cool stuff coming up that we're going to talk about, but can you start by maybe just telling us a little bit how you got involved, not just in like filmmaking, but like in specifically with music?
Yeah. Filming music has, since I was probably a preteen and starting to play guitar and being interested in music at a really early age, I was playing instruments at 8 years old and stuff. And I love to watch music on film. I think one of the first music films I saw was Woodstock. And it's a brilliant film. And saw it on TV, and I just really kind of fell in love with how just that those people were there doing that. And, and then from there, as I got older and saw more and more, I actually started working at video stores when I was about 18. I started watching a lot of music documentaries. Rude Boy is one that comes to mind that I saw, in my teens that I always went back to, just how that's structured with live stuff and with narrative stuff. And then I decided I was shooting photographs. I think I started shooting photographs when I was probably about 17, 18, seriously, where I was, really wanting to learn more about it. Took a couple of extension classes at U of M, the University of Minnesota, Duluth, because I'm from the Duluth area. And I wasn't ready to go into my 4-year college yet. And I started photographing bands. I started going to Minneapolis and going to basement shows and photographing bands. And over those few years between 18 and 21, I was just like, I want to write scripts. I want to be a filmmaker. I got to do this. And, you know, and I figured out that I applied to MCAD and I got in, and I wanted to go into the film program right away. So I was, you know, during that whole time, I was traveling, you know, by myself sometimes to Minneapolis, from Duluth, from Superior actually, to, you know, film bands and, you know, and mostly take pictures. So I got into MCAD. I packed up my car. I was 21 at that point. I started filming bands right away. I was just like, I'm going to film tons of bands. I'm going to make what I would have called then a video fanzine.
So I introduced you as a filmmaker. You also do like super cool photography.
Oh, cool.
Which I like, duh. Why didn't I say that? Because I'm brilliant. Do you have like a preference of like, I mean, what do you, like, you do both things really, really well.
Oh, thanks.
What do you prefer?
You know, I really like them both. But I feel like they kind of inform each other.
Okay.
In some ways. With photography, I really like to keep it, either I work on some experimental stuff. There's that's kind of what, like I said, was from kind of my coursework in school and in grad school. But when I film bands, or excuse me, when I take photos of bands, I really like to keep my style looking kind of old school and kind of straightforward.
Okay.
I know there are people in this town that shoot amazing, high def, beautiful, gorgeous images of rock and roll bands here. Mm-hmm. And I love all of that. And my style is a little bit more something that you'd find on a 7-inch or a 45 record in a dusty bin in, you know, 82 or something like that. Sure. Not that it has to look bad. It still has to look good. You know, there were still people taking great pictures back then.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to use film sometimes, or either that, or I like to make my digital look a little bit like it's film, a little more grit, a little more grain. And that's just kind of my style.
Do you have, when you're shooting footage, you've used like a variety of different like devices?
I do.
What do you have a preference?
You know, I really like, my favorite thing to shoot is film, actual film. For ease of use, I shoot on Super 8 film. Mm-hmm. It has gotten to be really expensive to shoot on Super 8 film now. It's still doable, okay, if you kind of pace yourself. So for instance, 3-minute reel of Super 8 film to shoot is can be anywhere from $35 to $50 right now.
Oh my God.
And that's not with processing. Processing on top of that would be another maybe 30. And then I love shooting in video and making, also, you know, the ease of digital video these days. I shoot with my iPhone.
Yeah.
It's really good. It looks great.
Yeah.
And you can make it, you know, look how you want it to look.
So you have, when we play for real coming up at Cloudland, that screening, and this will air after that, but I know you've got more stuff coming up. And so can you tell us a little bit about that and kind of who the audience can expect to see?
Yeah.
And then kind of what's on the horizon after that?
Yeah, for sure. So When We Play for Real is the film, or a video, I should call it a video, that I put together throughout my undergraduate studies at MCAD. But like I said, I had pulled it out of, you know, having it in class, because I wanted to really make it for the kids that were in it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to make it it wasn't like how maybe, you know, Penelope Spheris made, you know, Decline as almost like an anthropological study, as well as for the kids that were in it, right?
Yeah.
I wanted it to be about more like, you already know what punk rock is, but this is what we're doing with it, you know, and it's for the people that are in it. It's only 52 minutes long. it's some really fun things. I went into the studio with the Murderers. Went into the studio with Dillinger 4. So it would be at Terrarium. I think the Murderers was at Dave Gardner's studio here in town. And I went over to Extreme Noise, of course, and talked to volunteers there, and different record labels that were here. I interviewed people that own different record labels. Felix Havoc over Havoc Records, and then Profane Existence, the magazine that I remember picking up in Minneapolis when I was 17, and just sitting and trying, reading it in school when I was supposed to be reading something else. And so that was kind of a cool thing for me, is to be able to come back around and film them and interview them.
Yeah.
They were very gracious. And, I think the bands are really like, during that time, there were so many great bands. And I chose that time period because everybody was kind of saying, like, there's a real resurgence of punk rock right now. Right when I came to town to go to school, and people kept saying that. They're like, everybody's going to shows, older people, younger people. It's exciting again. I've heard different people from different age groups say that. And that was interesting to me, and that inspired something too.
What comes after that?
After that screening, I'm going to show a couple of trailers of this other thing that I started working on in late 90s. This thing, I went to New York to kind of, film some stuff. And what that film's about is there was kind of a rock and roll renaissance happening, where there were a lot of bands that were doing this really, really fast, revved up rock and roll that was kind of outside of things like psychobilly, and it was more like, so the bands, like some of the Scandinavian bands like the Helicopters would be an example of that. Some people that I've filmed so far, there's a band called the Bell Rays, who are fantastic. The style was more like the Stooges or the MC5 or Motorhead, or, the kind of just like really big sounding bands,
over the head,
but in small clubs.
Gotcha.
And that was the appeal of it. I was just like, I got to start filming these bands. So I did that, and then I did not know what to do with it. So I was entering Cal Arts to go to graduate school for writing scripts and making films. And some other things. And I was just like, I just didn't want to bring that film into my coursework again. I just wanted to keep it like, it has its own audience, and I just wanted to kind of keep it sacred, And so I kind of I put a lot of stuff in the can, and I've kept it with me through all these years. So I had moved to LA for 16 years. I came back here to Minneapolis in 2016. So now, as time has passed, I see all the holes. I see all the gaps. And that's driving me to dig it back out, do what I have to do to get something put together. But I need to, I'm going to have to, like in the next year, I'm going to have to do some traveling and some interviews, maybe some interviews on Zoom. I don't know.
Oh, sure. We can do that now, right?
Yeah. I need to fill the gaps, and I think that's going to be a really, really cool film.
How about in terms of photography?
Yeah, I want to do an exhibition of photography. Hopefully at maybe a couple of venues. Cloudland is interested, and have a group show of photographers. And really the only criteria would be that the photograph was shot after 2020.
Oh, okay.
So that would be the only criteria. And I think what'll be interesting about that is, if I did a call for artists for, photographs, there are people that have been shooting in this scene for years, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a whole other show, and that show I would love to do too. Like, I mean, that's huge.
Sure.
And there really needs to be. I know there have been some solo shows, some really great photographers recently and everything, but I'd like to have it be. I mean, the bands can be whatever, but I'd really like to have it be current. People playing currently. Sure. And I think that would be kind of an interesting exercise. I want to fill my life with creative work right now. Like sometimes we all do. I just got really sucked into the workforce, and I just, you're in survival mode, and you're like, I'll do that later. I just have to figure this out. Mm-hmm. My only advice to everybody is to just try to do, even if it's a little bit, try to do something. If you're a creative person and you feel like you're losing it, or not losing it. Let me rephrase that. If you feel like you're losing yourself or your creativity, I would say that's the time when you just try to even just do something once a week.
Yeah.
And think about your projects and that they're waiting for you.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us today. Patti Rhodes, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you.
That was awesome.
We're
Welcome back. It's time for that part of the show that everybody loves, monthly topics. This week's monthly topic is merch fees. Didn't we do merch fees?
So I think how this topic came up, there was a story, was it in Racket, about the lack of money available to artists these days. Through, obviously, record sales is going nowhere. There's not necessarily cover charges at the bars, so the only thing people have left is merch. And apparently at some locations, those venues are asking for a cut of the merchandise sales. And I was appalled. I am appalled, but I was appalled. Anyway.
We can stop the show right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Claire.
Yeah, no, I think, and I don't know of any local venues that take cuts for merch fees. And I think this has been a conversation kind of in the spectrum of like national touring acts as well as down to like local clubs across the US. And yeah, I think it sucks. I don't know, like, and I think there's also like kind of, it's just in like reading, there was a really great Pitchfork article about it. And it sounds like there's kind of like this continuum of how it works, right? So like there are some clubs that are like, there's no choice. You give us 10 or 20% of your merch fees. We are going to have somebody counting like your merch to make sure, like doing inventory. And they're like hardcore about it, and artists do not have a choice. And then there's like, it sounds like there's kind of some opportunities of like, well, let's negotiate. Like if we're setting up a merch person for you and you know, kind of like managing your merch sales for you, then yes, we would like a cut because we're providing staff people to help you with that. And then there are, of course, clubs that are just like set up and sell whatever the hell you want. We don't give a shit. And I think obviously the first scenario is like total BS. Especially in a world where we're already not paying musicians like a minimum wage, really a living wage, for what they do. Like we know that artists get like almost nothing from streaming sales. And so really like, and then to your point, Paul, like, what are we charging for covers, or are we passing a tip jar or whatever? How are artists compensated? And so really like merch sales, they're like, I think a lot of times for a lot of artists, they are paying for the merch, right? They're like fronting the cost of the merch. And it's really one of the few things that are like directly going back to the artist, right? So like if you go and buy a Shackleton shirt, right? And I'm just throwing that out there as an example, just randomly.
I stole this.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I said look over there.
You know, that's like all of that money goes back to the Shackletons, right? And so, and we know that touring is like god awful expensive. So to me, it's like really appalling that it would be like, hey, that cutthroat where we're saying we're not giving you an option. We're just going to like do this and we're going to take this. And if you don't like it, then suck a nut and play somewhere else.
Right.
Like that's bullshit.
I'm just going to say what Claire said.
Okay.
She.
Could you at least pick a different shirt as an example? Oh my God.
Usually we don't like cite sources.
Well, I mean, I have a debate nerd at heart.
She is. It's true. Anyway, so you know what we need is fresh topics from the audience. If you have something that you think we should talk about and you want us to talk about it, you need to go to our Facebook page or email Paul or yell at Claire during a show.
It's fine.
And give us that topic, and we will discuss it. We'll any topic. Nothing is too hot for some kind of fun.
That's right.
All right.
We'll take that hot topic and cool it right off.
Exactly.
Oh my good God.
That's what we'll do.
Okay, kids. Additional thoughts about merch fees?
I don't have any additional thoughts about merch fees. I guess if merch fees are up for grab, then a percentage of liquor sales back to the band should be up for grab. I don't know. If you're taking one from one side, it seems like you should take from the other.
Fair enough.
So,
All right, now we've got some clips. We've got clips from Big Salt, Cindy Lawson, and Betty Won't. And after that, Paul's going to interview Terry Walsh.
woohoo! Welcome back to Some Kind of Fun, episode 11. It's my pleasure to welcome Terry Walsh.
Hi.
Terry, how are you?
Good. Nice to be here and see your fancy studio.
Yeah, it's really kind of top
swanky.
end, isn't it?
The pool, I don't like that the deepest is 5 feet. you
Yeah,
know?
we're gonna have that redug.
Good.
So it'll by the next time you're here, it'll be
Okay.
proper depth.
All right. Oh, yeah, I was
Yeah.
clever of you to not tell me about that before I got here tonight.
I know what was in the rider.
I was ready to die.
So, you've been doing this for a long time now. Tell me how you got into the music business, and
Still trying
I know
to get
it
in,
starts
Paul.
at De La Salle with the talent show.
Well, yeah, right.
Go.
Yeah. Wow. I played Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me for the talent show when I was a freshman in high school. And
Nice.
a senior sang it, and it got botched up in the middle of it, and it was kind of a bad memory, but that was the debut.
I'm glad I could bring it up.
Then went on to playing bands and just kept begging for gigs, and then they started coming to me and begging me for gigs, and that's where we are today. So
Nice.
yeah, we're really lucky to be able to play as much as we do.
Yeah. So, at some point, it goes from, is it the 4 a.m. to the
2 a.m.
2
Well,
a.m..
that's most people say 3 a.m. You're on another
that
time zone.
Shackletons group has a 4 a.m. song.
yes.
So it's kind of stuck in my head, I guess. So the 2 a.m. and when does that transform like into the bands that are today?
Well, that's a pretty clear line. The four of us that were in 2 a.m. Started playing together in the mid to late 80s, and then put out CDs in 95 and 97, and then I almost sold all my gear in 97. I went out and played bass with Slim Dunlap on tour, opening for Sunvolt for a couple of weeks, which was great fun. But then I came home and my band was kind of falling apart, and I thought, maybe, I'm married now, I should try to be more responsible, be an adult. And sitting there, I was dispatching for a limousine company, and I was listening to a Vikings preseason game, and they cut to a commercial, and the background music was my harmonica. And I was like, it completely blew my mind. You know how weird it is to hear yourself on the radio?
Absolutely.
But this one was, on a Viking game. I didn't see that coming at all. And WCCO wound up using our songs for 5 years, Gopher games, Vikings games. So that was pretty cool. And it kind of kept the wind in my sails enough so that when my then wife and I learned we were having our first kid, and this is in 2001. And I lost my job in the same week. My friend and bandmate Brian, we were just getting together weekly to have fun and learn songs that we liked. And Brian Swanson, he's a booking agent, and he said, maybe it's time we give that Van Morrison band idea a try that you've had, And so we did, and kept it going through the lean years, and just really, I feel like the luckiest singer in town because I get to play with these guys. So 21 years now.
21 years.
Yeah.
And I notice a lot more Terry Walsh originals in the mix now, which is great.
Can't say that's not by design. I've always wanted to do that, but we had to get people in the door first.
Right.
2 a.m. played to a lot of empty rooms. So it's kind of a bait and switch, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I like it, though.
good. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now the world's largest trio, which usually has 4, 5, 6 people in it, they play weekly.
Yeah, every Tuesday night at Driftwood,
Okay.
South Minneapolis, and it's my favorite night of the week because Heidi, just the owner of the bar, she just lets us screw around, play whatever we want. We can be funny if we want. We can be depressing and sad and quiet, or we can just blast it out. And she just lets us paint on that blank canvas once a week. And we never know what we're going to play until we start playing it. So,
And that's the fun of that night. It's very fun.
it's my favorite night of
And
the week, easily.
the recipient of the donations that people make that night is an organization called Foothold Twin Cities.
Yep. And that's a nonprofit that my wife and I started back in 2015, and it still goes today. It's bigger. This year we've collected more in donations than we've ever done before. It's like around $110,000 this year so far. Helped a lot more families too, and the biggest thing I would tell people about Foothold is that 100% of their donations goes to help local families in need. Nobody takes any money. We're just doing it because we want to be able to do something, try and make a difference. And the band stays right with, never heard one complaint from the guys. We could be taking this money as tips and splitting it up at the end of the night, but nope, they're all 100% with us. And families, we wind up paying one bill for families that have been referred to us by professionals that in education, social workers. So if you're in one of those fields, medical field, and you come across a family that they have to have at least one kid, you can refer the family to Foothold, and we'll pay one bill, one time, up to $1,500. We usually wind up paying rent.
Okay.
When people are like the big word is
When they're
eviction.
down to that,
when
right.
when the eviction comes in, then it's like, oh, we'd better get these guys some help somehow. But yeah, it's even with all the donations we've received this year, I've been turning down like 4 out of every 5 families lately, just because we can't. We don't have the dough.
Yeah. That's got to be tough.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. The need never goes away. And
Yeah.
that's the tough part. It's great. You get these victories and, jump through some hoops, pay somebody's rent, or keep them from going homeless, and then there's more at the door.
Yeah,
as the Who said,
Exactly. So musically, any new projects we should be anticipating? New music coming out?
Yeah, we're working on some new songs. We've got right now there's an album in the works that looks like it might be all original songs.
Nice.
And it'll be a Belfast Cowboys album anyway, which is weird. But that's kind of what we're moving toward right now. It's about halfway through.
Okay.
And then the band, we're going to go to Belfast in April.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got 2 shows lined up at the Black Box in Belfast in April 5 and 6. And there's a
Okay.
tour group that's coming with us. A bunch of people are going to ride along on the bus, and we're going to go Dublin to Belfast to Galway to Dublin.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I've never been to Galway, never been to Dublin, so can't wait.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, man. Yeah, come on along. I'll give you the info.
All right. Sounds good. People that are watching, hit that button. This is a good organization. Give. Help some folks.
FootholdTwinCities.org.
Got it.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Terry.
My pleasure.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say what you want. My hand goes. Don't knock the rock. Don't knock the rock. Don't knock the rock. Don't knock the rock. Baby, don't knock the rock. No, that's all. You can knock the jive and the boogie beat. You can knock those with both of your feet. But don't knock the rock. Don't knock the rock. Don't knock the rock. Don't knock the rock. Baby, don't knock the rock and roll. That's all. Well, she's really alive. It's 5 to 5. Say something she like a happy mood. She step back, so the love of the so don't knock the rock. Hey, yeah, 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 pal. you feel. I can't change your mind and now I can't change your mind till I know. And I'll be like the hills, never straight from you, not to know. You to spend time somewhere else, feelings happy of yourself. Hit that broken heart, like even still. I can't change your mind and now what will if I can't change your mind, tell. Even though my heart keeps breaking.
Welcome back. We're talking about the upcoming shows. Paul, as always, you go first.
All right. December 9th, Creeping Charlie at the Green Room. Diet Light from Milwaukee is opening up. And then there's a really fun punk show at the Hook and Ladder on December 21st. It's the Festivus Solstice show. Yeah.
Yep, I know Solstice is in there.
Yeah. There's two titles.
If you're at the Hook and Ladder on the 21st, you're going to get punk rock, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't really matter what we call it.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's very punk of you, Peter.
yeah, exactly. Punk is whatever we wanted it to be.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's it. Can't we just have that?
Yeah.
December 15th is Merry Krampus with Impaler at the Turf Club.
And then on December 16th, I'm going to be going to Silverteen's Christmas, featuring the Silverteens with their hot new album, Silverteens, with Little Man, the Hipsters, and Loose Rails. That'll be fun. That's at the Eagles Club, I believe.
Yes.
If I go anywhere else, I'll be lost and sad.
And on December 2nd, our pal Claire will be singing from her favorite Minnesota songwriter, Paul Westerberg.
Yep,
out of
that's
his
her favorite.
calendar. It's not Bob Mould.
No, it's
that
Paul
was just
Westerberg.
for show.
She's
a Westerberg.
Yeah, she's very clear about that. She really loves
It's
her
really
placements
loves.
more.
Literally my next tattoo.
And taking us out is Tired Eyes.